To the horror with your hosts with most Jumbo. As always, welcome back. So we are continuing our Nightmare on Elm Street franchise review with Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, Dream Masters. Sorry, I couldn't remember exactly which dream whatever we were on. But we are on Dream Masters, and so let's go through our cast of characters. So we have returning for the roles Rodney Eastman, Ken Sagos, and Brooke Bundy. Those are the only, well, aside from obviously Robert Englund, those are the only three from the previous film that we are getting back. Though we do have Tuesday Night replacing Patricia Arquette as her character and everything. So, but we also have, not only that, we have Andreas Jones, Brooke Thies, Lisa Wilcox, Tui Nork, and Leona Quigley, who is actually, doesn't actually have like a physical role in this movie, but she is one of those souls that is like pushing through the Freddy chest towards the end. And we also have Danny Hassel, who will obviously also be in the next installment of the franchise along with Lisa Wilcox. But Dream Masters. So this obviously, kind of picked up after the events of Part 3, obviously. We have our three characters from the previous film. Like I said, Tuesday Night's character, who obviously was a replacement of Patricia Arquette, Ken Sagos, and Rodney Eastman. Now, here's the thing that kind of, like, not baffles me, but always kind of cracks me up, because these three are apparently going to the same school, which I find interesting, considering that the previous film, it was stated by one of them, I think actually Ken Sagos, possibly him, his character, but one of them actually said something like, oh, it's interesting how we all have these same dreams about the same man, and none of us have ever met before. So I'm kind of like, did the other two, like, move closer to be in the same school as Tuesday Night's character? Like, I don't know, whatever. I'm not even gonna like dwell on it that much, but whatever. And these are these three characters are the last of the Elm Street children and everything. So of course they all get completely wiped out right away by Freddy and everything, which is a little disappointing considering, they are the last three, but coming off such a great sequel in Part 3, The Dream Warriors, and to have these characters kind of knocked off within like the first 15 minutes, this just like a little bit of a letdown, because, those characters were so brilliant and everything, and then boom, they're gone. I mean, couldn't we at least get one of them through, like, at least halfway through the movie? Because we all kind of know, yeah, they're all gonna die in this one, but let one of them stick around till, like, the halfway mark. I'm just saying, but whatever. But as soon as Tuesday Night is killed off, she is the last one to be killed off, then it kind of turns to Alice and her friends and her brother and everything, and kind of follows what's going on with them. And these guys are now the new targets, because they've been introduced to Freddy by Tuesday Night's character, and now they're kind of afraid and everything. They've had a little taste of Freddy, and now they're terrified, mainly Alice. And it's kind of like the whole point is sort of, and I know even the Joey character sort of made a reference before he died of like, hey, don't you think if you keep going back in these dreams and all this into his boiler room, don't you think that's gonna maybe conjure him up and bring him back? Like, just leave it enough alone. And of course, she doesn't really listen, because she's a chick. Like, why is she gonna listen? So of course, kind of resurrects Freddy, although the dog, Jason's dog, the Jason dog, or whatever I should say, Ken Sago's character's dog, Jason, just pees on the ground that Freddy's buried in with a piss of fire and brings back, because why not? Makes sense. Makes sense in Nightmare on Elm Street sequel, but whatever. So, but yeah, no, he comes back and everything, and then, interesting in this one, something that I do kind of like with this sequel is once Alice, or I'm sorry, not Alice, but Tuesday Night's character dies, she kind of passes along her powers to Alice and everything, and then from then on, Alice's character kind of uh, pretty much inherits the qualities and powers of her friends that Freddy pretty much, kills off and everything. I kind of like that. It works to a degree, to an extent. It kind of fails on certain aspects because it's like, really, really. But I mean, you gotta do a little something. You gotta do a little something fresh. So, and this was a movie that actually this sequel was actually was filmed during the writer's strike. So a lot of the stuff that they had to do for this one was kind of make stuff up on the fly. I mean, they had a script, but there was things that they had to change, but they had to change it themselves because they had no writers to basically, you know, do rewrites for. So, but whatever. I mean, for what it was, for, knowing that there was a writer strike going on, and they had to kind of do some of their own stuff. I mean, I give them props. It doesn't always work, like the dojo scene with, what's his name, the brother. I mean, yeah, that was pretty lame, but to see just Freddy's glove kind of whoosh, right at him and everything, I kind of like that. I don't overly love the scene itself, but just the use of the glove and having some sort of Freddy there, because I feel like if you didn't have Freddy's glove there, it could have just been like, it was just a dream, and he got scared. He got scared. I'm just saying. And Alice. I love Lisa Wilcox. She is a very she is just a terrific actress. This one, I feel like, it's her performance, especially compared to part 5. This one, she's okay, and I feel like she definitely was a little better in part 5. And I know that she even said in the Never Sleep Again, or Never Fall Asleep Again, or whatever it is, documentary, she kind of had said how she was a little nervous and everything, so that definitely kind of shows, but she still does a pretty good job in this and everything. I think she's still a great final girl. Ends up, and that's the other thing, you kind of see her going from this very sort of mousy type of girl with, her living with her brother and their alcoholic father. I mean, that's some stuff right there that you got to deal with. I'm just saying. And then to kind of see her evolve through this movie, becoming this sort of kick-ass female who takes control, like, well done. Well done. So, but it's a decent little installment. Is it my favorite? Not really. I mean, there's worse sequels. I'm just saying. No, but Nightmare 4, in all fairness, like I said, it's a decent one. Definitely not the greatest story. I think the previous few movies in this franchise before this one are definitely better for obvious reasons. Even part 2. But this one, yeah, it's doing a little bit something different. We've established that the last 3 Elm Street kids, original Elm Street kids, basically are killed off. And here's the other thing, too, that I just thought of. So, the last 3 Elm Street kids are killed off and everything, but it's like the other kids have no knowledge of, like, Freddy Krueger, like, and what happened or anything. Like, y'all were growing up here. Like, what the? Well, I mean, then again, I guess in fairness, yeah, maybe because there's, like, so many years that have passed, so maybe not all the parents have talked about it, or if not, or are like aware of what had happened like years and years before, but still that's a little weird. With the exception of Danny, obviously, because he says that he is like the new kid in town and stuff, but whatever. A scene that I do really enjoy in this movie, or in this film, a couple of scenes actually, kind of pretty much tied together, but when Danny and Alice are going to go save their friend, Brooke Thesis' character, I love the sort of like the deja vu, the kind of like running loop, and then keep meeting up at the Craven, the Craven. I like that little Craven, little nod to Wes Craven for the restaurant, but it kind of keeps going around, in a loop of like, oh, we gotta go save her, and then finally Danny's kind of like, wait, you know, we've done this. It kind of repeats the same lines that Alice just told him like a few minutes ago that she has no recollection of. And then Brooke Thesis' character, oh, that cockroach scene. Oh, and I gotta think about bugs, dude. I gotta think about bugs. I cannot do bugs, weird bugs like that. I can't do it. So that's, oh, that's a tough one, but I love that scene. Oh, do I love that scene. I'm just saying. But I mean, honestly, once again, like I said, this movie's not like the worst of the sequels, but definitely a big dip in this one. You could tell, but it was an alright one for the series. So let me know what you guys think of Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4 Dream Master in the comments. Till next time, you guys, as always, stay creepy, classy, and a little bit sassy.